We're diving into a story of redemption, a story of a game that had rocky beginnings but managed to turn things around with hard work and dedication from their developers. Some of the best examples of this are No Man's Sky and of course Cyberpunk 2077. Both games launched under very heavy criticism. Expectations were sky high, but the games failed to deliver due to severe bugs, performance issues, or even missing promised features. For some, it seemed like these games were doomed. Yet, flash forward a few years and they become excellent examples of how perseverance and listening to the community can lead to redemption. No Man's Sky has received countless updates since launch, exceeding every expectation. Halo Games' unwavering dedication earned them recognition, including the Best Ongoing Game award and a multiple of nominations. Similarly, CD Projekt Red overhauled Cyberpunk 2077, fixing bugs, improving gameplay mechanics, and releasing fantastic updates like the Phantom Liberty expansion. Both games have risen from their ashes to earn their place in gaming history. Today, I want to talk about another game that deserves a second chance, Days Gone. This game, released in April of 2019, had a pretty tough start, with mixed reviews, technical problems, and narrative pacing issues. But here we are in 2025, and I strongly believe Days Gone not only deserves another shot, but also a full-fledged sequel. Days Gone was first revealed during the PlayStation's 2016's E3 conference, a legendary event where we also got first look at God of War and Marvel's Spider-Man. Sony was on fire that year, and Days Gone caught everyone's attention with its intense trailer and jaw-dropping gameplay demo. The demo showcased a terrifying horde of freakers, of course zombie-like creatures, in action, and players were excited to see how this dynamic world translated into gameplay. When the game finally launched in 2019, it was met with mixed reactions. The issues range from crashes, unstable frame rate, and bugs to weaker AI and stretched out pacing in the story's opening hours. Many players struggled to get through those early parts. It felt tedious at first, but things eventually opened up into a much more enjoyable experience. One major issue was the game's narrative execution. The premise was great, and I personally loved the characters like Deacon St. John and his best friend Boozer. However, some story beats felt clunky or rushed. For instance, the intro sequence of the game was clearly missing content. It felt like we were supposed to play through a dramatic opening where we experienced the outbreak firsthand, something maybe similar to The Last of Us. Instead, the game cuts abruptly between cinematic moments, making it jarring and harder to connect emotionally. At launch, these flaws combined with bugs and crashes made it difficult to enjoy. Thankfully though, Bend Studio didn't give up on the game. Over time they released numerous of patches to improve optimization, fix bugs, and stabilize performance. They even added a challenge mode that included bike races, horde challenges, and new playable characters like Boozer, each with unique loadout. While some of the narrative's pacing couldn't be fixed, the gameplay improvements made the experience much smoother. By the time I returned to the game, I was blown away by how much it had improved. I enjoyed it still, and I even got its Platinum trophy. And I have to say, this is one of the most enjoyable games to Platinum. The PC release also breathed new life into the game. Steam community embraced it and now holds a very positive rating with over 68,000 reviews. For many, it felt like Days Gone finally had its moment. The story follows Deacon St. John, a drifter and a bounty hunter, as he navigates a post-apocalyptic world filled with freakers, bandits, and cult-like groups called Reapers. At the start of the game, we see Deacon trying to escape the chaos with his wife Sarah and his best friend Boozer. During their escape, Sarah is injured while helping a child. They manage to reach an evacuation chopper, but there are only room for two. Deacon insists Sarah to go without him so he can stay behind to protect Boozer. Tragically, they never were reunited. Deacon and Boozer made it to camp where they were initially supposed to meet, only to find that it was overrun and with no sign of Sarah. Years later, Deacon spots a Nero chopper, the same organization that evacuated Sarah, and begins a journey to uncover the truth about her fate. At the same time, Boozer suffers a horrific injury at the hands of Reapers, forcing Deacon to juggle personal loss, survival, and the constant threat of Freakers. The narrative may take time to pick up, but it rewards players with intense emotional moments, thrilling battles, and a compelling mystery. Without spoiling too much, the game's ending leaves the doors wide open for a sequel, and the setup is genuinely exciting. The highlight of Days Gone is undoubtedly the hordes. This was the game's standout feature from the very first E3 demo, and it delivered on that promise. The hordes are massive, chaotic, and absolutely terrifying. Facing one feels like stepping into a nightmare. The tension is palpable as you navigate environments looking for ways to outsmart the horde. You'll push obstacles to block their path, find tight spaces to slip through, or even lay traps to thin their numbers. But make no mistake, if they catch you, you're done. Early in the game, your weapons are too weak to take on hordes effectively. It's best to wait until later in the game when you have better guns and upgrades. Tackling hordes becomes one of the most rewarding challenges, offering resources and bounties you can trade at the survival camps. For players who want more, Days Gone even lets you reset all hordes and enemy camps after finishing the story, allowing for an endless replayability. Set in the post-apocalyptic Oregon, the world of Days Gone is quite stunning. From dense forests to abandoned towns, the map feels alive and believable. It's not just a random collection of buildings, it just feels like places where people once lived, worked, and thrived before the outbreak. Exploring the world is a joy, especially on Deacon's bike. Whether you're racing down long highways or weaving through the mountain trails, the scenery is breathtaking. Pen Studio did an incredible job creating an immersive, atmospheric world. Sadly, a sequel to Days Gone seems, well, quite unlikely. Reports suggest that Pen Studio pitched a sequel, but it was either rejected by Sony or never left the studio. This is a shame because there's so much potential for Days Gone 2. One rumored idea for the sequel was adding co-op, allowing players to team up and explore the world together. Imagine riding through the Oregon with a friend, battling hordes and sharing the experience. It would have been incredible. Despite the setback, the PC release has given Days Gone a second wind. Many fans are still hopeful for a remaster or a re-release on PlayStation 5, which could further expand its audience. Days Gone is a game that deserves a second chance. Its rocky launch overshadowed what is now an excellent experience. With its thrilling hordes, engaging story, and gorgeous open world, it's a game that stands out among the PlayStation's exclusives. If you've never played it, or if you gave up on it back at launch, now it is indeed a perfect time to try it out again. Whether or not we ever get a sequel, Days Gone has earned its place as a memorable and rewarding adventure. And at that, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Do let me know down in the comments of your thoughts on relating to Days Gone. Thank you, and I'll see you guys all later.